Let's see. How about money? How important is compensation to a superstar?
It's valuable, but not extremely important. It's more about the cause or the purpose for superstars that gets them motivated and making a difference or having an impact. But you don't want to neglect them to have the monetary rewards.
All right, Josh, you're exactly right. What they have found, and this is true with most people, but particularly true with superstars, is that money is not a motivator to a superstar. It's not a motivator because they're just assuming, hey, I'm really good. I'm getting paid to be really good. They just assume they're getting paid well. So, but it can be, so it's not a motivator, but it can be a demotivator. If Rajan is a superstar and he feels like he's not being compensated fairly, he's going to go someplace else. So it's not a motivator. It's not going to make them want to work harder, do better, but it can be a demotivator. And so what my advice to my clients is, as it relates to compensation for superstars, is I want to take that issue off the table as soon as possible. I don't ever want to talk about compensation with my superstars, because if Rajan is my superstar, if the average pay for that position is here, I'm going to pay Rajan this because he's worth it. He's worth it. Remember, the superstar on average is their performance is 50 to 800% better than everyone else. So why would I pay them average pay if they're outperforming everybody? So I'm going to take money off the table. I never want to have that discussion with my superstar, because if I'm having a discussion about his or her pay, they've got one foot out the door already. How many calls a week do you think my superstar is getting from recruiters? 3 to 5. I'm going to say 3 to 5 times a week, they're getting a call from recruiters saying, hey, how'd you like to work here? And all it takes is for my superstar to feel underappreciated or underpaid for them to take that phone call, take that meeting. Can't allow that to happen. Okay. Any other thoughts on the superstars? Any other thoughts on leading, managing a superstar?
When you give the additional raise or whatever for your superstar, did you also raise your level of expectation for them? Like, did they have to maintain that superstar status?
I did, but Terrell, that's a really good question. I'm not sure I would tie one to the other, because inherently with a superstar, I'm raising the bar. If you're here, I'm going to challenge you to get here. And part of your DNA is you want to get there. I don't have to give you more money. It's inherent in you to get better. Again, that growth mindset. So I don't think I've got to tie money to that process of raising the bar. I think that happens inherently. Again, what I want to make sure is that if I'm going to do my market survey of compensation, and if the average pay for that position is here, I just got to make sure I'm here all the time. That's a really good question.
Tim, one question. Please. If let's say that your superstar is in sales, normally salespeople are motivated by compensation, so we're percentage. When would you say, or how would you motivate them besides just the commission status?
So, Marco, that's a really good question. One, I've got to think about the idea that they're motivated by money. I think the best salespeople I know are motivated by competition. They're motivated by getting better, by raising the bar. They're motivated by success, not so much, again, money, but success in terms of what they're doing in sales. But again, they're looking at the money. There's no question, because of their competitiveness, they're looking at the money. But I think the important thing with superstars is feeding that competitive spirit all the time. You know, bringing in other top salespeople, raising the bar at appropriate times, challenging them in new and different ways, just because that's part of their nature is they like being challenged. They don't like becoming complacent. So those are just a couple of things that come to mind with salespeople, but I'm not, again, with money, it's just figuring out what's the right amount and not wanting to demotivate that salesperson.
And another approach would be compensation in the form of investment within the company, profit sharing, or something that makes them vested in staying in performing versus leaving and performing.